But the description of failed state is not warranted.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do understand that I'm not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter. And of course, I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our super gorgeous country. Now, I would like us to look into something that was said by Dr. Naledi Pandor. She is saying, yes, there are a lot of things that are not good that are happening in this country that we are not happy with, but saying South Africa is a failed state is an exaggeration according to what she's saying. So she is saying, you know, we still have the health services being provided every day. Children are going to school every day. She's also saying, it is not perfect, but we do have that. But there is something that reminded me of something when she said salaries are being paid every month. Yay! There's a story that I want to share with you, but it's going to be very brief before I bring in that video clip of Dr. Naledi Pandor. There's somebody who works in South Africa, an academic from Nigeria. He left his wife in Nigeria, his whole family in Nigeria, and he is working in South Africa. His wife is a teacher. For years, his salary was not being paid. Like, I don't know whether it was 2 years or 3 years. The salary was not being paid. And the way he was talking about it, there was no much frustration. And I got the sense that this is the norm. This is something that happens very often in Nigeria. I don't know how is it now, because that is something of about 6 years ago. Maybe things are different now. If you're from Nigeria, kindly let me know in the comment section. Do you have such things happening in Nigeria that the government does not pay salaries of its own employees? Now, when she said South Africa is not a failed state, I sort of agreed to some degree that we are headed that direction if we don't fix ourselves on time. But we are not a failed state yet. I'm saying this because we seem to be the solution to the citizens of other African countries who are looking for at least a bit, just a bit of an improvement in their lives. They come to South Africa. That means we've got something to offer to ourselves. First, let me say, there's something, what I'm trying to say is that there must be something that they envy, or maybe something that they desire, or something that it gives them hope when they look at South Africa. That gives an element that we are not really a failed state compared to what is happening in the entire continent. And what leads to that, according to my own opinion, is the lack of leadership, the greed by our own leaders, the self-serving behavior by our own leaders. They just pure incompetence by our leaders. It is so sad because whenever you go out of the continent, you know, we are always this, oh, shame, oh man, we are from Africa. Like, people pity us. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we don't have to live a life like that. We have so much going on for us. We just need to position ourselves like we know what we have as a continent. But I'm talking about South Africa at the moment. Do you agree with Dr. Naledi Pandor when she says no? We are not a failed state. Now, this happens in the midst of the news that the economy is not growing, investment is low into the country. And also that got me thinking, as we saw your Trump administration and your AFRIFORUM and your, just in general, the people that are not of color and some people of color in South Africa saying BEE is not working, it needs to be scrapped, and just we forget about this and just be people. And I always say that BEE was a tool, was a best shot to equalizing. I know that we can never have an equal society. You know, I just feel like whenever politicians talk about equality and whatnot, they are selling us dreams. Life is just like that. No equality anywhere. Even the countries that they say they promote equality, you really don't see that equality, because at the end of the day, everybody cannot have what they want. If you look at the entire world, we just, there are those people like who will just not get what they want until they leave this planet, But at the end of the day, when you look at the way things are in South Africa, what do you think? Because I just feel like it is the problem with BEE, it is the implementation and the gatekeeping of those in power trying to enrich themselves and giving to their friends, their in-laws, their whatever, and BEE on its own is not a bad thing. It's just the implementation of it. That's my views, but you can share your own views in the comment section. Do you agree with Dr. Naledi Pandor when she says South Africa is not a failed state? And you are like, we failed long time ago. We just like the rest of the countries that have failed. So what are your views? Kindly share those in the comment section. I'm looking forward to reading them. If time allows me, I am certainly going to respond. But if it doesn't, I'm going to take time to react to show that I appreciate your participation in my channel. And I humbly request that should you have time and you are on Wi-Fi, kindly watch my ads in full, as that support really goes a long way. And to those who are already watching my ads in full, indeed, guys, so I'll be seeing you in my next video.
I think that South Africa is confronting a number of very complex problems. You've set out a number of them, but the description of failed state is not warranted in this country. We continue to have an economy that functions. We have a revenue service that collects revenue. We have a public service that functions, of course, not satisfactorily, but it continues to function. We have an education system where children are attending school each day. Salaries are paid. We have a very active private sector. So while there are deeply, deeply challenging problems, I don't think we should use exaggerated language such as a failed state.
And of course, as you say, those challenges and then would also warrant leadership to just steer the ship, so to speak. Do we have the right leadership, though? Do you think that, from your assessment, this GNU has demonstrated the ability to deal with those issues effectively and urgently?
Well, I think that the fact that the GNU has survived thus far indicates a useful level of political maturity in South Africa. It's the first time we've had a national coalition of this kind, apart from, of course, the inception of our democracy. We've had pockets of political parties working together, but it has tended to be one or two, not on this scale. And the fact that government has, I think, continued to persist in the role that it should play is an important advance. However, I do think that as a people and a country, we need to see a more determined effort to address the challenges that you have referred to. I still think there's a sense in which, there's some instability and one is not always clear. When we take this step, what is the actual goal that we intend to achieve? And this 0.8 growth that has been recorded, what are we going to do in order to provide support to sectors that are showing promise, in order to lift the growth to 2%, 3% and above? So what are the interventions? Who is engaging in what way with the private sector, with those companies that are showing real promise? What form of support in logistics terms is being provided to the agricultural sector, which is really showing that it is robust, that it can continue to contribute to our growth? How do we assist, for example, agriculture to retain jobs? And in the tourism sector, how do we grow it? These are areas where we know job growth is possible. So one doesn't get a sense of the intensity, who's actually doing what, and what push is there to expand where there is success.